surprisingly, it can be unsurprising as well. And hearing Washington Post and their reaction to this is going to be very funny for you all. But y'all know that there was this basically Ministry of Truth. It's like this disinformation board that Joe Biden, his administration, created. And yeah, it's literally a Ministry of Truth. That's what it was. Of course, disinformation to them is anything that is ideologically opposed to their causes. So today, it has been put on pause, and Nina Jankowicz, which was the head of this disinformation board, quit. And it's funny how they're kind of worded it like it's the victim, and it's like, nah, we're not going to allow you to do that, you fucking retards. Looking at this right here, this is the headline that Washington Post went with. How the Biden administration let right-wing attacks derail its disinformation efforts. That's the route that they're going. That's they lost. It's an L that they have to hold, and they're like, shit. It's the right winger's fault. You fucking losers, man. Let's read what they had to say. On the morning of April 27th, the Department of Homeland Security announced the creation of the first Disinformation Governance Board with the stated goal to coordinate countering misinformation related to Homeland Security. The Biden administration tapped Nina Jankowicz, a well-known figure in the field of fighting disinformation and extremism, as the board executive's director. In naming the 33-year-old Jankowicz to run the newly created board, the administration chose someone with extensive experience in the field of disinformation, which has emerged as an urgent and important issue. No. The author of books, How to Be a Woman Online, that's the name of the book, I guess, that she wrote. This is what makes her expert. And How to Lose the Information War. That's also another book. Her career also featured stints at multiple nonpartisan think tanks and nonprofits, which included work that focused on strengthening democratic institutions within small community of disinformation researchers. Her work was well regarded. It's like, all right, she was well liked by other people that also smoked crack. And it's like, that doesn't mean any fucking thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be adored by other people that are also bad. That doesn't fucking, like, what? Okay, congrats, I guess. That's what that last line means. Within the small community of disinformation researchers, her work was well regarded. Like, but within hours, news of her appointment, Jankowicz was thrust into the spotlight by the very forces she dedicated her career to combating. The board itself and the DHS received criticism for both its somewhat ominous name and scant details of its specific mission. It was a ministry of truth, bro. That's what it effectively was. You could butter the name up all you want. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said, could have done a better job of communicating what it is and what it isn't. The government not communicating effectively. That's a very new thing. And unlike the government to ever do that, to just give some fucking fake department, fake name, fake jobs, and it has some loose description of what it actually does, when what it does act is generally impeding on the liberty of other people. And other than that, they probably just sit around with their thumb up their ass. But Jankowicz was on the receiving end in the harshest attack, with her role mischaracterized as she became the primary target of right-wing internet. She has been subject to unrelenting barrage of harassment and abuse, while unchecked misrepresentations of her work continue to go viral. Now, just 3 weeks after its announcement, the Disinformation Governance Board is being paused. According to multiple employees at the DHS, capping back and forth of decisions that changed during the course of reporting on the story, on Monday, DHS decided to shut down the board. According to multiple people with the knowledge, by Tuesday morning, Jankowicz had drafted a resignation letter in response to the board's dissolution. So she's out. The board is no longer a fucking thing. And it lasted about as long as CNN Plus lasted. But Tuesday night, Jankowicz was pulled into an urgent call with DHS officials who gave her the choice to stay on even as the department's work was put on hold because of the backlash it faced. Basically, hey, we have nothing for you to do. The job was fake anyway. We had nothing for you to do, but you might as well stick around with us and make some money doing fucking nothing. Stick around. Says, according to multiple people with knowledge of the call, working groups within DHS focused on mis, dis, and malinformation. That's what the sentence says. I didn't say that. Like, that's what it says. It says, focused on mis, dis, and malinformation have been suspended. The board could still be shut down pending a review of the Homeland Security Advisory Council. On Wednesday, Jankowicz officially resigned from her role within the department. Nina Jankowicz has been subjected to unjustified, vile personal attacks and threats. A DHS spokesperson told the Post in a statement, in congressional hearings and in the media interviews, the secretary has repeatedly defended her, eminently qualified, and underscored the importance of the department's disinformation work, and he will continue to do so. Jankowicz has not spoken publicly since then. And so they go on about how bad the rollout. And of course, she said when she announced she'll be serving in the Biden administration's counter disinformation efforts. They're saying that the rollout was disastrous. And then they talk about Pasivic's 1.7 million followers getting active. Because, of course, we were going to post about this. Mentioning disinformation governance board, many referencing Jankowicz by name. What's the problem? I mean, she announced it herself as well to a report, Advanced Democracy, a nonpartisan, nonprofit organization that conducts public interest research. In the days following that, number skyrocketed. Basically, as it says right here, the board was created to study practices and combating the harmful effects of disinformation and to help DHS counter viral lies and propaganda that threaten domestic security. Unlike the Ministry of Truth in George Orwell's 1984 that became a derogatory comparison point, because that's what it was. Neither the board or Jankowicz had any power or ability to declare what's true or false or compel internet providers, social media platforms, or public schools to take action. Look, this is like the CDC, right? I'm not done reading this dog shit ass cover article. It might have been wrote by Jankowicz. What's her name? Yeah, herself. Here's the thing. CDC, as an example, doesn't have any governing power basically at all, right? You look at the landscape over the last 2 years, especially during the height of COVID. Who did they listen to? What was the excuse for everything it was that was being done? Be it the lockdowns, be it various forms of people being taken off the internet for talking or taken off social media websites. Who were they saying that they were listening to combat this? It was the CDC, a body that doesn't govern, having no power to shut this down, though effectively that's exactly what they have, because they're the ones that the other entities listen to you. And then they say, well, because this federal government agency said this, then we need to act as such. So you can't just say squirrel and act like people are being incorrect by saying it's the Ministry of Truth, when we know that what would have come of this was them declaring what is rightful information, what is not rightful information, and then that trickling down into other aspects and people being shut off, shut out, because the disinformation board said whatever that person or groups of people are saying is disinformation, misinformation, or as they also termed, which I haven't used that before, malinformation. Disinformation, which is a term that the NPC's gotten a recent update, is only a term that is utilized to demonize works, statements, no matter if they're factual or not, that go against whatever main narrative it is that they have. That's it. That's all that term means. It's material that is a threat to us and we don't like it. Well, that's all that mis and disinformation is. The fact that they think that it ain't even permissible. It's not about that. It's more of they think that, for one, the federal government should be the ones that are in charge of dictating what is considered misinformation and what is not, which is insane. But to act like that wouldn't be abused ever is even more so crazy. But more so, I guess, if we want to summarize this, it's that they treat every individual in this country like we're children. It's, hey, we have to vet everything for you, and we can't allow people to have conversations among themselves and then assess it themselves, right? We can't have people doing that. Like, no matter if that person was spreading misinformation or something that was actually false, which the federal government does it all the fucking time. No matter if that was the case, it should be up to the individual to assess that situation and take from that, because often stuff is factual, or maybe the overarching concept may be factual, but there's some lies in between. You know, that's just how the individual has to assess that. It's like when you're reading an article from the mainstream media. Some of that some of that's going to be truthful. Some of it's not. You know what I mean? And the individual has to be able to assess that, or has to go and assess that and decide for themselves. The fact that they don't want people doing that tells you all that you need to know. That's it. It was a ministry of truth, and it suffered the same fate that CNN Plus suffered.
You just listened to a clip from my podcast, For Canon's Sake, which is live throughout the week at 12 p.m. Central on youtube.com/YoungRipper59 and odyssey.com/@YoungRipper59. Be sure to check out my website, ericdjuly.com, so you can stay up to date with everything it is that I'm doing. You can also become a member and get access to a bunch of cool perks and exclusive content, which includes a social media hub where you can interact with myself and other members. It even has an app that you can get, which is now live in the Google and Apple stores.